Hi, my name is Robert. Please read the comments in the About section of this video. It has valuable information and updates. My YouTube channel has a disclaimer video that I encourage you to watch. And please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you found what you're looking for. Thank you very much for watching. On our way this morning to enjoy the balloon festival. As you can see, there's dozens of balloons just launched off the ground. So we're going to hang out at my sister's place of employment so that we can enjoy a little bit of the show. Totally missed them lifting that balloon off the ground with my phone acting crazy, but anyway, there's a balloon they just lifted up about 100 yards from me. Here at my sister's place of employment, they throw a little breakfast time and let families come to watch the balloons launch a block or two away. So we get a good view of the different balloons that's going up, the different shapes. And today, as they call it, Special Shapes Rodeo. And the winds are a little calmer than they like, but it is drifting them around a little bit.
You see the upside down egg with the feet and the arms?
Nope. Okay, I see it. Why do you think that's an egg? It looks like somebody in a spacesuit.
He's upside down, his feet are in the air. He's got a bow tie.
No, I don't see it.
He's yellow, and then at the top is yellow, and he's got black feet sticking out.
Oh, I see him now. The camera is having a hard time focusing on those distant ones. I believe they said about 20% of the balloons that are flying are special shapes. Special shapes just basically means they're shaped other than the plain old balloon shape. So you got clowns, stagecoach, fishes, turtles, more clowns, all kinds. And this is the one that just launched in the lot next to us across the street. And they're right above us here. So they're all around us. Balloons, balloons everywhere. But the main launch site is right there to our north. About, I guess, maybe a mile or 3/4 of a mile. Thanks to the fine folks at Transcore, we have a little bagel buffet and some coffee. Balloons flying high. The coffee stand over there to the left. Transcore is a company that makes a lot of the transponders for vehicles traveling on the road that collect their tolls. Trucks, trains, cars, all those type of things. So if you're a trucker, there's a good chance that you have a Transcore meter transmitter responder, so that you don't have to stop and pay tolls all the time. It just racks them up and pays the bill as you drive along. Had a couple weird shapes above us. And they got some launching around us. Of course, balloons and power lines don't mix well. It's like oil and water. A bumblebee. This is when a camera would do better than a phone. And some are floating off to the east. Now we have Spider-Man, a scarecrow, a fish, some sort of thing that looks like it may be a basketball over there. A bumblebee flying high. See if we can zoom in on the Spider-Man one and get a decent shot of it. Come in focus. There it is. That's not too bad. And the little fishy one and the scarecrow. Look how big Mr. Owl is. Little bit of globe of the world. Back in there is the piranha and a parrot and a few other things. Let's see if we can zoom in on the piranha. There he is with his big sharp teeth.
I can't believe that mouth on that thing.
It's like from, what's that movie called? Rio.
Really?
Look like a few parrots. Sometimes they can separate some of those ones that are joined together, but it don't look they can't do those birds like that. There's a whale above the piranha. And we're just surrounded here by the balloons, so it's pretty neat having a close-up view of so many hot air balloons. And here they are raising a balloon over here to my left, lifting it up. Up, 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 and there it is, folks. Bunches of balloons in the sky. And that's that. First stop for fun today is back over here at Discount Tires. I don't normally have this, but I have a vibration between 45 and 65 miles an hour. I hadn't done anything any faster, so I want to make sure that these tires are balanced before I hit the road. While they're doing that, I'm going to get me some exercise and walk around this big block that houses the mall. So that ought to be about a 1.5 mile walk here for me. Albuquerque houses one of the largest balloon festivals in the world because it has some special winds during the first week of October that somebody discovered. Now, Albuquerque is a city that sits in kind of a bowl. To the east, we have the Sandia Mountains, and then the landscape gradually descends until it hits the Rio Grande, and then it arises again to the west, and we have what we call 9 Mile Hill on the west side of I-40. So it goes down in a bowl effect, but the east side mountains are higher. So these mountains somewhat protect Albuquerque from a lot of different weather patterns, even though we're high altitude desert. Albuquerque is approximately 5,500 feet elevation. Now, during the first week of October, down in the valley close to the Rio Grande, the balloons can launch because the winds are normally calm in the morning. Around 7 miles an hour is ideal. They can rise a couple hundred feet and the wind will take them to the north. Then they rise another 2,000 feet and the wind will bring them back to the south. So for 2 hours approximately, the balloons can fly in a box pattern. Because of that, it's ideal for ballooning. They can fly for a couple of hours and almost literally land within, a mile of where they launch from, which is a special deal for balloonists. During the 10 days of the balloon festival, it starts the first weekend of October on Saturday, and it ends the second weekend in October on Sunday. But the goal is to launch about 500 balloons a day. So you'll see balloons launching for 2 or 3 hours in the morning and flying around the city, and particularly that Northwest Valley, for a couple of hours. Bunches and bunches of balloons, different shapes and sizes and colors.
Because of all that ballooning activity and the beauty that it brings, it also brings with it a large population of visitors, which is probably Albuquerque's #1 attraction in a year. And I believe they say somewhere around 750,000 visitors will visit Albuquerque this 2015 Balloon Festival season. So if you ever want to visit Albuquerque, Santa Fe, we're about 6 hours from the Grand Canyon, 6-hour drive. You can come see us that first week of October. I think that's ideal.
All right. They said that both of my wheels on the driver's side were bent, so they moved one of them from the left front to the right rear, so that should minimize my vibrations in my front end. So I'm gonna get on the highway, see if it feels any smoother, and prepare to leave town. I didn't get a chance to hit the highway, but I don't think it would matter, so I didn't feel any vibrations around 45. I should be good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and pack up what I need tool-wise for the trip. I got my car packed up with the tools and everything I need for my trip, but I need to stop back by here on the Mercury Villager van. I made a technical mistake when I removed the distributor on it when the new one was sent back for replacement. Whenever you remove the distributors, it's imperative that you mark where the rotor is pointing, what direction it's in, so that when you pull the distributor and put the new one on, you can put that rotor in the same place. See, these distributors, they have notches in the bottom of them. There's 14 different positions that can go in, not just one, and it never stops in the same direction, unfortunately. So when the new distributor arrived, I put it on, pointed it in a direction that the previous one was installed on, not removed on, cranked the car, and it didn't start. And that was because the distributor was out of time. The engine can be timed, but the distributor can be out of time. So you need to retime the engine for the distributor. One thing you need to know about cars is they fire when that piston gets it top dead center. And everybody looks to time vehicles with #1 at top dead center and then time it that way. But I don't think it has to be #1. You can bring any cylinder to top dead center, put that rotor to that point on the distributor cap or firing wire, and you should be good. This car has 4 here and 1, 2, 3 here, so all of them are pretty much accessible, although this one here is the most accessible. Now the cap is marked #1, #6, 5, back up here at front, #2, 3, and 4. So what I could do is time it to this cylinder right here, and when I follow that wire back, that wire is #2. So what I would do is pull that plug, pull that wire, rotate the engine until that cylinder breathes when the piston is rising. That tells me that it's on its firing stroke, and then get it top dead center, and then install this distributor so that the rotor is pointing to the #2 location, which would be here, and the car should start and run. Now, I could take this thing up and spin it 14 notches and try to get lucky on firing or on finding the timing. But if I'm off in a special place, it'll make the vehicle backfire and probably make the muffler and possibly catalytic converter explode. So you don't want to do damage to the engine, busting pistons, piston rods, bending rods, none of that stuff with a backfire. You want to make sure you get this right. So I'm going to pull this wire, pull this plug, try to get something on the crank to rotate the engine so that this thing is top dead center, then reinstall that distributor so that it points to the number 2 wire firing position, put it back together and see if it cranks up. We rolled this around a couple times. We got it to actually burp out a little bit of liquid on the second raise. This is the highest point on number 2. Number 2's right here. It should fire right here. So I'm going to just install that distributor so that when it's down, it's pointing right there. So let me put that spark plug in there, hook up the wire, reset this distributor, and try to start it. Things back together. We're going to see if my theory works and get this vehicle started. Keep trying. Alright, I'm going to try to move it 1 notch each way. As you see, it didn't start, so I turned it to point opposite 180 degrees. Alright, stop. Well, my timing hack job on the Villager didn't work. I was probably 180 degrees off because I was on the wrong stroke. When the owner started to start it, didn't sound real good because the second time around I was probably 1 notch off, maybe 10 degrees off, and that didn't sound good, so we shut it down. So I'm gonna go find out exactly where this timing is supposed to be and revisit that in a couple of weeks. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.